Before tonight's horrors unfold, drop a comment and let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. Your support keeps the horrors alive. Let's begin. I was raised in a county in northeast Georgia, which at the time this happened had about 2,500 people living in it. We had one set of schools for both towns in it, and none of them ever had more than 250 students in it at a time. Every single school also shared the same fleet of 9 normal buses, plus one for kindergartners and special needs students. They were numbered 100 through 900, and to make it easier for the younger kids to remember them, they were all assigned an animal. Each one had the black silhouette of its animal painted on it, and because of that, everyone just called them whatever animal they were assigned until we stopped using them. I don't remember every animal, but I remember mine was Bus 700, the rabbit bus. This happened in 2012. I was in 6th grade, my first year of middle school. In my county, elementary school started at 8, middle and high school started at 7. The middle and high school were also on opposite sides of the same road, so they were picked up at the same time and dropped off about 2 minutes apart. My neighborhood had 2 spots the bus stopped at, one towards the entrance of the neighborhood, one a little deeper into it. I got on at the second one. It was September. We had basically just started the school year. There was only one other person who got on at my bus stop, a girl named Clara. Me and Clara weren't really friends, but we got along. We had been standing next to each other every morning since kindergarten, so it was good that we didn't hate each other. I'm not sure how she managed it, but she had infinite energy. I don't think I ever saw her at anything other than 100% ready to face the day ahead. Even when we lost the extra hour of sleep, she was as ready as ever on the first day of middle school, pink JanSport over her shoulders, giddy to get to school. The term we would use for someone like her nowadays is chronically online. Supernatural, Doctor Who, Sherlock, sometimes all at once somehow. Smosh, The Hunger Games. Especially The Hunger Games, more specifically Josh Hutcherson. Clara would talk on and on about all those and more, and she never seemed to run out of things to say. I usually tuned it out, but I didn't mind the background noise for the few minutes we stood there. The bus normally got there about 6:25, but my mom always made me go out at 6:15. Clara would get there a few minutes later. This morning was no different. I was leaning against the tree I always leaned against when Clara got there, told me good morning, and launched into her morning rambling. She had gotten into Harry Potter towards the end of the summer, and that obsession bled into the start of the school year. She was talking about this fan fiction or that photo edit when the bus started to slowly roll up to our stop. Clara had only just gotten there, and the bus normally came a few minutes after she got there. But it wasn't that weird. What was weird was that I didn't see the bus approach. From my stop against the tree, I could see the entire road leading out of the neighborhood and anything entering it. Even though I was spacing out, school buses are bright and loud. They have headlights on when they drive. They have lights that flash when they pick up kids. This one was driving in the dark with no lights on, and I didn't see it stop for the first stop. "Did you see it stop?" I said, interrupting Clara. She looked confused, so I motioned at the bus, which still hadn't gotten to us yet. "The bus, did you see it pick up Aaron and Leslie?" Her face scrunched in thought before she shook her head. I wasn't really paying attention, but I don't think so. She looked at the bus, which came to a stop in front of us. We had the same thought in that moment as we took in the numbers printed on the side of the otherwise normal yellow school bus. I know that because she all but read my mind when she said 000. It was missing something else, but it took me a second to realize. This didn't have an animal on it. It was a totally plain, normal school bus. Suspiciously normal, and the realization set me on edge. Sometimes when our driver couldn't do it, another driver would drive the route for them, but it was always in their bus with their own animal. I was about to say something to Clara when the door opened. It opened fast and with a weighty thud. We could see up the steps leading into the bus, but nothing past that. It was a complete blackness. No light entered, nothing escaped. I took a step back and looked at the windows, and like I was expecting, I couldn't see anything inside. Clara looked at me and took a step back as well. "Hello," she called out. "Are you here to get us?" We waited for a response. We didn't get one. "Hello," Clara asked again. "I don't think anyone is gonna—" The horn on the bus blared, cutting me off, almost sending me flying out of my vans with how much I jumped. "Hello?" Clara called out. She was starting to get mad. "Are you here to get us or no?" The horn blared again, making us jump again, though not nearly as high. I walked over to Clara, leaning in to whisper to her. "We should go," I said, glancing at the bus. "What if this is some creep or something?" I could tell she wanted to agree, but what if the actual bus comes? I frowned, but she wasn't wrong. The bus could be here any minute now, and if it got here when this bus was here, we could run to it, to safety. The horn blared again, then again, then again. Then it didn't stop. Whatever was at the wheel was holding down the horn, letting it fill the quiet morning with harsh noise. Why wasn't anyone waking up? No lights had turned on, no doors opened in anger, as a bus driver sounded their horn nonstop. Me and Clara started to move backwards, trying to get away from it. I looked over my shoulder. My house was up a hill, and I was never a fast runner. If whoever was in there was faster than I was, I wouldn't be able to escape. I was just about to turn, ready to drop my bag and make a break for it, when the horn stopped. The silence was as sudden and jarring as the horn had been. For a moment, me and Clara stood there in the quiet, unsure if we should keep moving away, not daring to break line of sight with the bus in case it did anything that would make the decision for us. Then the door shut. I heard the brakes release. Then it drove away, down to where the cul-de-sac was, past a line of trees that obscured it as it went away. Clara and I ran towards the tree line, turning to see it turn around. But it wasn't there. A few seconds later, bus 700 pulled up. We saw its headlights cast shadows in front of us. We could see inside it. We must have looked as terrified as we felt, because when we got on, the bus driver, Mr. Levi, said, "You girls all right?" We looked at each other. I took a step forward. "There was another bus that came in before you. It was dark inside it, and it wouldn't stop blaring its horn and Whoa, whoa!" He waved a hand. "Calm down, take a seat. Tell me what happened." We sat in the front row and told him everything that happened as he drove the rest of the route. When we were done, he had a conversation over his radio, and when we got to school, we were brought to the principal's office to tell the story again to him and a police officer. Then we were sent back to class. We told all our friends right away, and for a week, the talk of the school was Bus 000. Some people thought we were crazy. Some people thought we were making it up. Some people thought we were lucky to be alive. None of them had said they had seen the bus. We were expecting to hear about it on the news one day, some local pervert being busted for using an old school bus to take kids. But that never happened. There was never any kind of follow-up from the police, or the principal, or even the bus driver. Even on when my mom called to ask, she never heard anything back. When the investigation never had any follow-up, people started talking about other things. Eventually, I stopped thinking about it all the time, and only thought about it some of the time. Clara went back to talking about how cute Peta was, and all seemed normal. Until a few weeks later when I got to go to school late because I had a doctor's appointment. The next morning, when I was waiting for the bus for the first time ever, Clara didn't show up. When roll call was called for our home period as she didn't answer, there was a murmur in the room, which the teacher quickly snuffed out. No one ever saw Clara again. From what I remember, no one ever tried to find her. Not her parents, not the police, anybody. People talked about her, there were theories. Her family suddenly moved. They were all killed. Only she was killed. She was kidnapped. After a while, that was what everyone settled on. Someone had come by, taken Clara, and she'd never be seen again. A tragic, cautionary tale for years to come. I knew what happened, though. Or at least, I think I do. When I wasn't there, Bus 000 came back, and this time, they weren't going to wait for Clara to get on the bus.